What if I told you the best thing that happened to your coaching business isn't your first yes? What if I told you it was your first no? Let's throw it back to 2019. I had created my very first coaching offer and I pitched it to a woman who I thought would absolutely say yes. She had been following me on Instagram for months. She commented on every single one of my posts. She even sent me a DM telling me how much my content helped her. So when I finally opened up spots for my brand new group coaching package, of course I reached out to her first. And guess what she said? Yep, you guessed it. She said no. But here's the thing. She didn't just say no. She said a very detailed no. She told me why my offer wasn't right for her, why the pricing felt off, and why the transformation I was promising just didn't land with her. I'm not even gonna front. My feelings were hurt because really, lady? Seriously? And of course I took it personally. And at that point, I started to question everything about my business, my skills, and whether or not I even had the right to call myself a coach. But that single rejection taught me something about my business that 1 million yeses couldn't have taught me. Because when someone says yes, you get a client. But when someone tells no and they actually tell you why, you get data. And data is the thing that transforms good coaches into great ones. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been rocking with me for a while, welcome back. My name is Nick Scott and I'm a business coach and sales strategist who helps professional women transform their existing skills into high-ticket coaching businesses on the side. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and let's stay connected. Okay, here's the thing that most new coaches don't understand about rejection. They believe that rejection means that they're not good enough yet. They believe that rejection means they need more certifications, more accolades, more training, more followers, or more credibility before they can start to charge for their expertise. But rejection does not mean you're not ready. Rejection means you're in the game. Because the fact of the matter is, the only women that never hear rejection in their businesses are the ones who aren't out here making offers in the first place. And I want you to really think about this for a second. When you're still in the content creation stage, when you're still in the audience building phase, when you're still in the someday I'll be ready phase, you keep yourself protected from rejection. And when you're stuck in those phases, you're also protecting yourself from revenue. Every successful coach that I know has a rejection story. They have not just one rejection story, they actually have dozens of them. The difference between the coaches that are making six figures and the coaches that are still stuck at zero, it isn't because the successful ones avoided rejection. The difference is they stopped running from it and started learning from it. When someone tells you no, they're giving you free market research because they're telling you exactly why they're telling you no. They're telling you why your messaging is unclear. They're showing you exactly where your offer might not be matching exactly what your ideal client needs. They're giving you permission to get better instead of being stuck in perfectionism. And here's the part that most coaches leave out. You cannot build a profitable and sustainable coaching business without being told no. You cannot refine your offer without rejection. You can't start confidently selling your offer until you've heard no enough times that it stops feeling like a personal attack and starts feeling like feedback. If you're feeling like, I don't even know what my offer should be and I don't even know or have a thing that I could even get rejected for, I created something just for you. I put together a free guide with 101 coaching ideas that show you exactly what you can package and sell based on the skills that you already have. And what I'm giving you for free is not some generic motivational guide. It's a strategic resource that takes you from not knowing what your business should be to having 3 to 5 clear options to choose from. Whether you're a teacher, a nurse, a project manager, a nonprofit leader, or somewhere in between, this guide will show you how your expertise translates into a coaching business. The link for 101 coaching ideas is down in the description. So let me tell you exactly what rejection teaches you when you stop treating it like failure and start treating it like education. The first thing that rejection teaches you is clarity. When someone says no to your offer, they're forcing you to actually look at what it is you're selling. Not what you think you're selling, but what they're hearing. For example, you might think you're selling a 6-week transformation program, but what they're hearing is 6 more weeks added to their already overwhelming schedule. Maybe you think you're selling expertise and strategy, and what they're hearing is just more information when really what they need is implementation support. Rejection forces you to close the gap between what you're offering and what it is your people are actually looking for. And that clarity is worth more than any yes you'll ever get. The second thing rejection teaches you is confidence. And I know that sounds backwards because, like, how does hearing no make you feel more confident? But think about it. The first time somebody tells you no, it can feel devastating. The second time, it might sting a little less. And by the 10th time, hopefully you realize that rejection is just part of the process. The thing about it is, once you realize that rejection can't break you, you stop being afraid of it. You start making better offers. You start charging higher prices. You start to speak to your ideal client with conviction because you're not tiptoeing around trying to avoid being told no. You already know a no might come, and you already know that you'll survive it. And that confidence, it will change everything about how you show up in your business. The third thing that rejection teaches you is positioning. Every single no that you'll hear, it tells you who your offer is not for. And knowing who your offer is not for is just as valuable as knowing who your offer is for. When someone tells you no because your price is too high, you automatically know that that is not your person. When someone tells you no because they want more hand-holding than your offer provides, then you know that is not your ideal client. When someone tells you no because they're not ready to commit to the transformation that you provide, they're literally telling you that they are not your ideal client. And once you understand who your offer is not for, you can stop trying to convince everyone and start focusing on exactly who your ideal client is. And the last and most obvious thing that rejection teaches you is resilience. Building a coaching business requires you to put yourself out there over and over and over and over and over again. And all of that requires resilience. Rejection builds resilience faster than anything else I've experienced in my life. Because every time you hear no, you keep going anyway. And every time you do that, you're proving to yourself that you can handle your own business and you can handle your business in this business. You'll be building the mental toughness that separates the coaches that actually make it in this business from the ones who quit after they hear the first few no's. Now let's talk about the return on investment that comes with rejection. When I got that first detailed no back in 2019, I could have done a few things. I could have quit. I could have decided that coaching wasn't for me. I could have gone back to playing it small, hoping that someone would notice me without putting myself out there. But instead, I took everything she said and I used it to rebuild my offer. I clarified my messaging, I restructured my pricing, and I got very, very, very specific about who I wanted to serve and the transformation that I wanted to provide. And within 60 days of revising my offer, I sold it 3 times. I signed 3 clients at $5,000 each. That equated to $15,000 that I would have never made if somebody would have said yes right away. Because that first yes would have locked me into an offer that just didn't work. That first yes would have kept me stuck building something mediocre instead of building something powerful. That rejection, it forced me to do better, and that is the ROI that nobody ever talks about. Rejection is free market research, y'all. It's real-time feedback about what's working in your business and what's not working in your business. Rejection is the difference between building an offer that people will just tolerate and building an offer that people will actually get excited for. When you stop avoiding rejection and start collecting it like data, everything changes in your business. You stop second guessing your prices because you've tested them enough times, you know exactly what works. You stop overthinking your messages because you've had enough conversations, you know exactly what's going to land with your people. And you stop waiting for perfect because you know that done is better than perfect. And you also know that feedback is better than silence. silence. If you want to go deeper in your coaching business that positions you in a way to learn from every conversation, whether it's a yes or a no, I've got a free 5-day email course that breaks down my exact framework. It's called the Skills to Income Blueprint, and it teaches you how to take your existing skills and transform them into a high-ticket coaching offer. This 5-day email course lays out the practical steps for you to get your business up and running without the guesswork. The link is down in the description. Here's the thing I want you to understand. The coaches who are making real money in this industry, they're not always the ones with the biggest audiences. They're not the ones going viral on TikTok and Instagram. They're the ones that learned how to create their offers early and start handling rejection like professionals. They're the ones who stopped treating every no like a personal failure and started treating it like valuable information. The coaches that make the most money in this industry, they're the ones who realized that rejection does not equate the opposite of success. We have realized and accepted that rejection is part of the path to success. When you shift your relationship with rejection, everything else in your business will start to shift too. You stop procrastinating on launching your offer because you're not terrified of hearing no. You stop underpricing for your services because you've tested your prices enough time that you know what the market will bear. You stop hiding behind content creations and you start having real sales conversations because you know that even if they do say no, you're going to learn something that's going to make your offer and your next offer exponentially better. And that willingness to be rejected in service of building something real, that's what separates coaches who talk about someday from the coaches who are selling today. So if you're ready to stop waiting and start building, if you're ready to create an offer that you can sell with confidence, even if you know that people might say no to it, I created 2K in 2 hours. This micro course gives you 5 proven templates that you can use to turn your skills into a high-ticket coaching offer that you can sell for $2,000 or more. These are the exact frameworks that I have used with my private clients to help them build their offers and get them selling. You pick one of the 5 templates, you customize it in your voice with your expertise, and then after that, you're ready to start having sales conversations. And here's the thing about it. Your offer is not going to be perfect the first time you sell it, and that is the point. You're going to refine it based on the feedback that you get. You're going to refine it based on the yeses and the nos, and you're going to refine it based on the real conversations that you have with real people. But you can't refine what doesn't exist yet. So you have to build something and then put it out there. And 2K in 2 hours, it walks you through every single step of that process. The templates, the pricing strategy, the onboarding workflow. You even get sales scripts for handling objections. When you enroll, you'll have everything you need to go from idea to offer within just 2 hours of focused work. The link for 2K in 2 hours is down in the description. Here's what I want you to remember. Rejection is not your enemy. Silence is. Playing small is. Waiting for permission is. But rejection is proof that you showed up. Rejection is proof that you made an offer. Rejection is proof that you're building something real. So I encourage you to stop running from rejection and to start learning from it. And once you do, watch how fast your business grows when you stop being afraid of hearing the word no. All right, y'all, that's it for this one. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and share this video with a friend who needs it. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.